Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. They outclassed them at the bridge. The scoreline doesn't tell the full story. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Boos at the end from Chelsea fans, unhappy with this performance from Graham Potter's men. But Arsenal go back top. A goal courtesy of a brilliant cross from Saka, put away by Gabriel. But a professional professional performance across both halves from Arsenal. I'm joined by Colleen, of course, big Arsenal fan. How happy are you at that all-important victory?
It's nothing personal, Aubameyang and Chelsea. It's nothing personal. I am obviously so relieved that we've managed to get 3 points at Stamford Bridge. You know, generally you generally think when you go away from the top 6, you try and pick up a point away from home and get 3 points at home. But let's not overgloss it. For a neutral or an Arsenal or a Chelsea fan, it was a really, really bad game of football. At 60 minutes, we were like, should we just go?
Well, we were tempted to put on EastEnders.
It was really bad. Really bad.
The thing is, it was a bad game of football, but Arsenal get the win. So they walk away from this with their heads held high. Chelsea fans must be absolutely fuming right now. Every single ounce of them has to be fuming. And it has to be fuming because there was no performance. There was an opportunity for Kai Havertz twice to cut the ball back to Aubameyang, and each time he messed it up completely. Outside of that, Chelsea did nothing in this game, and partly that was because Arsenal stopped them in the midfield. Arsenal defended brilliantly in that game and broke them down, but there was a lack of commitment from Chelsea. There was no midfielder trying to break lines. It was meek. It was almost, well, let's just take a small defeat, as opposed to losing 3-0 trying to win. And if you're a Chelsea fan out there, we want to hear from you on this show as well. But from an Arsenal point of view, what a response to that late winner from Man City yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I was fuming. I couldn't believe it. I think I'm like any other Arsenal fan who thought, do you know what? If Man City drops some points, maybe it's happening. Maybe it's really happening. But then they managed to, as true champions do, pull out a win from something out of obscurity, thinking it's not going to happen. So the pressure was on away at Stamford Bridge. It's wet, it's cold, it's an early kickoff. And listen, the 3 points are all that matters, but it wasn't a great watch of football. But I'm really intrigued to hear from a Chelsea standpoint, because I thought a couple of times in that game, especially in the first half, although it was a really poor game of football, with Zinchenko playing that inverted role, Havertz got in a few times and it could have been a different game. But the crowd didn't seem up for it. There was no atmosphere. There was nothing. It just felt very apathetic. It didn't feel like a London derby, and that's what disappointed me the most.
I've been saying this for a while about Chelsea now, and I stand by this. There seems to be, they're in this kind of lull of almost, do we get up for things or are we angry with things? Are we happy with the progression of the club, or are we annoyed with the direction we're going in? I think Chelsea fans are in limbo. I think the players are in limbo. And what's really interesting is that first 8-9 games under Graham Potter, I thought there was real improvements, and you could see a team in there, and something from that point has gone. There is a disconnect there. And I asked a question of Chelsea fans the other day, and it was a tweet of mine that went crazy viral. About 4,000 likes and retweets and replies, just asking Chelsea fans how they feel about their club. And the one thing that came back again and again was, I feel disconnected.
And you could see that there was no atmosphere there. And you could even see from the players, and maybe I'm coming with a bit of bias as an Arsenal fan, or I'm not as connected to Chelsea, but when you go a goal down in a London derby at home, you expect a response. And it's almost reverting back to basics and almost that passion merchant type personality that you want. And we just didn't see that at all. It was like the players were like, do you know what? Okay, we'll just take the L and move on.
And that's it. And listen, a lot of Chelsea fans might defend it. The reason I'm saying I felt you were outclassed is you're at home, you're at Stamford Bridge, and you didn't create, for me, one clear goal scoring opportunity. And I look at this from the angle of Mason Mount, poor. Cucurella, who you would expect creativity from, poor.
Cucurella.
Awful. Kai Havertz, abysmal. Aubameyang right now regretting that advert decision in a big way. He's got to be regretting it. He has to be regretting it,
we
because
saw his face.
He has to be regretting it. You can't do what he did, have a performance like that, and then regret it. So for me, the scoreline doesn't always dictate how good or bad both teams were, because you can be flattered. Man United scored 3 goals in our 6-3 defeat against City. That flattered us. We weren't 3 goals good in that game. And in this scenario, I believe that Arsenal overall at Stamford Bridge dominated Chelsea. There's no doubt about it in my mind. We're going to go to your super chats in a minute and take some calls. But on Arsenal, though, I mean, we already mentioned it. The response was so important after that Man City victory yesterday. It was so key that Arsenal come out, the firing blocks, and shoot back, especially with the international stroke World Cup break on the horizon. Very, very important indeed to turn around and get those 3 points, to remain top of the league, to put that pressure back upon Man City. And I know you've said this for a while, but I'm asking this question of the viewers. Are Arsenal fans now believing? In your opinion, are you believing in this title race now? Because for me, you're in it. You're in a title race. You're in a title race. This is what a title race looks like. You go, we go, we go, you go. And so far, 13 games in, Arsenal have gone pound for pound, punch for punch, and are out muscling Man City right now. They're a better team than Man City right now, and they're sitting top of the league. Gooners, I want to hear from you. Still not a lot of believers out there, but a lot of Arsenal fans I was listening to in the build-up to this game said, if we beat Chelsea, then maybe, just maybe, I am going to start to believe. I do need to get KJ to come backstage, so I can't keep starring your super chats and start reading them. I thought he was going to be here. I need you backstage.
But, Lice, on the touching point on that, whilst we sort that out, is I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't want to believe, and I said this before, that there's a difference between saying you're going to win the title and being in a title race. Whether you think we're going to win the league it doesn't really matter. Right now, Arsenal the only team that are keeping up the pace with Manchester City. And as a Premier League fan, as a football fan, that's all you can really ask for. I mean, if Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United would like to step up to the plate, please do it. But it's just Arsenal at the minute that are keeping up with Man City, or should I say Man City keeping up with Arsenal as they are top of the league.
Absolutely. A comment here says, statement win. Doubters are haters. Come on, Arsenal. I am going to go to your super chats now. The reason that I say that is StreamYard's horrible. The tab for super chats, I can't see new ones coming in, so I don't want to miss any. So I will come back to them. I have message KJ's backstage now, so we can keep starring the new super chats coming through, because I don't want to miss anybody's. That wouldn't be right. So let's go to the first one that's come through here. This is from Cullen, and Cullen says, he says, have we still not played a good team, or are we going to move the goalposts again before people can say we are in the race? 13 games, top of the league. And Cullen, you're absolutely right. Brand new member of ours recently on the terrace. You are in this title race. 110%. Arsenal fans start to believe, start to speak with a bit of authority, start to speak with a little bit of chest, because you fans deserve it. You've been through hell for 20 years.
And why not? So what if we don't even win it? So what if it tails off? Just enjoy the ride. And right now, we are in the thick of one. I think we need to stop looking and try and be like, okay, I need to protect my image. I need to protect my opinion, because I don't want anyone to come back onto me. I tweeted yesterday that Arsenal are going to win the league. And then I saw, Man City get that penalty, and I deleted it straight away. But I was like, do you know what? You can't shame the shameless. Just say, do you know what? Who cares? Who cares?
Exactly. Moose Wizard here says, what hurts the most is their 1-goal score the way it was. I thought we hung in tough in the first half. Abysmal performance in the attack. It's time to bench Havertz and Sterling for Pulisic and Broja. Well, I definitely think Broja deserves a run. That goal, though. Let's talk about the goal for a minute, Moose. What was Kai Havertz doing? What are you doing, bro? Legit, what are you doing, G? Your legs are about 5.5 foot long. How are you missing that ball? That's the crazy part about the whole game. It was the level of depravity in that mistake, the level of embarrassment in that mishap from Kai Havertz to allow not even a high cross. The cross came in about 3 foot, 4 foot in the air. It went all the way through for a tapping from Gabriel.
Right through the 6-yard box. You've got Cucurella hugging Xhaka for the duration of it. They're just having a little cuddle in the middle of the box. It's a cold day. Why not have a cuddle? But that's why Saka thought he scored. It's because, can't believe your luck there. It's just gone all the way through.
It was crazy. Diet Kier says, one of the worst Chelsea performances I've witnessed. Not only was it one of the worst Chelsea performances, first time in 2 years that Chelsea have lost back-to-back league games. Thomas Tuchel, some wanted him out, some wanted him gone. Never lost 2 league games on the bounce. Up next for Chelsea, Man City in the League Cup. Up next for Chelsea in the league, away to Newcastle.
It's coming thick and fast.
To Newcastle. Chelsea could end for the season break, for the World Cup, 7th or 8th in the league, with 3 defeats on the bounce. It's bad times right now. Juan here says, for the trash players, we have 1-0 is not bad. This actually gave me hope in Potter. Todd, give him his players fair play to Arsenal.
That's a very positive response. I'm going to be honest.
Very, very positive. Juan's always that positive, though, to be fair. He is. This super chat here says, this reminds me of when we lost 1-0 to City last year. Yeah, I'll get you on that. I cut my says, hi, Terry. Looking beautiful. Colleen was a hard watch this game, but glad Arsenal won. Looking forward to the United game now. We'll be live after that game as well. So I want to see all of you back for that, by the way, people. Whoever you support the Football Terrace. Also, if we hit 1,000 likes while we are live, we are going to give out some free memberships to you. So if we hit 1,000 likes during the stream when we're live, we'll gift out some memberships. So get that done. Can we put this defensive naivety myth to rest? Today, sensational. And there were a few mistakes. There were a few little mistakes, but recovered. And Arsenal, today, I was going to, my man of the match, I picked Gabriel because I thought defensively you were great and he got the goal. I think BT Sport picked Saliba. I think either of your two centre-backs being man of the match would be fair today. Both brilliant, no doubt. A result is the best thing that could happen to Chelsea's. What does that say there?
So needed midfield.
Oh,
so needed midfield overhaul.
Yeah, this summer. Monstar was right. Tuchel thought he was fine and was very wrong. A DM needed. This midfield can't do anything. I think a DM's needed for Chelsea. But on top of that, creativity.
I think a personality as well would be a start. There was no expressional personality in those players. It's almost like everything was just very apathetic. You can't change the full 11. Obviously, it's going to take some time. And I know that Potter's going to need his own players to come in. I know there's so much context with Chelsea. You don't want to get too angry at them. But I think the basics, even with that team, I do agree you need a midfielder. But even with that team, there's basics those players should be doing. Fighting for the badge in a London derby, you need a bit more.
Well, it's what Arsenal did, and Arsenal won the fight. And this is why Arsenal are so brilliant right now. If you're going to take one thing from this game, one thing that I say, take this. Fight. For 10, 15, 20 years, Arsenal, I don't care. This is not a misogynistic comment because I'm talking about men's football. They lost their balls. They lost their balls. They lost their backbone, Arsenal. And they've got it back now.
They've got a spine.
Arsenal have got, but they've got swagger. They've got swagger. They've got character. They've got personality when it comes to these games now. And that is on top of the quality football, on top of the system and the training and the coaching. Arsenal have got something about them. It's an intangible, but so important substance. Is unbelievable. It really is. Matty here is a Chelsea fan that says, Terry, I said Potter will be gone in 18 months. Potter out. Terry, I accept your apology saying you were scared of us. Listen, Bowley is a fool. Listen, I'll say Villa have just gone 1-up against Man United.
Good evening. Good evening. Unai, baby. I'm so happy you're back. Unai Emery.
Raging now. I've seen that. Let me just say this quickly about the Chelsea thing to this super chat. I still think Chelsea will build something good. I haven't yielded from that thought process. What's gone wrong is that you've now changed managers and direction straight away. You've changed direction and gone in a new direction. And a manager that wants and needs very different players. And I think for me, that's the important part here. It's going to take time. It's going to take time,
yeah.
Whether you believe in Potter or not, even if you change, there has to be a consistent approach with a manager. That's very, very important indeed. Chris here says, Aubameyang did nothing, so can't be personal.
Touche, baby. He did absolutely sweet FA, and I love it. I love it for
absolutely. Passing and defending was spot on, but finishing needs to improve. Could have put the game to bed early.
Agree.
Arsenal, the finishing is probably the only area where if you're going to be constructive, that's where it is. And especially Gabriel Jesus today, that headed opportunity he had should be putting that away. There was also Partey taking the ball off the head of Martinelli. I think he would have scored from that header. And that's why I think the 1-0 scoreline, to a degree, flatters Chelsea, because Arsenal should have scored 2 or 3 chances. They actually had the opportunity to put it in the back of the net and they messed it up. So I think for me, you're absolutely right in that comment, my friend. This here says we've scored in every game so far. 11 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. The results don't lie. Chelsea were horrible though, but we were there and dominated them. Come on, you Gooners.
And that's what's so hard to take as a Chelsea fan. And I keep saying it, and we were saying it throughout as we were watching along. It's a London derby. And we've seen over the years of watching football for our clubs and just general rivalries anyway, we've seen a Manchester United side, for example, be so much better in class versus a Manchester City side, but somehow that City side can still get a result. Like you were talking, 15, 20 years ago. And it's because that desire, that personality, that fight, and it just wasn't there from Chelsea at all. And I think that's on the players, obviously, but you've got to question Potter a little bit and think, where's your personality? Where are you getting into these players?
Yeah, I mean, Kovacic starting on the bench, Mason Mount lasting so long in another game where he did nothing. These are definite questions. But in terms of the first part of this super chat, back on Arsenal again. I mean, I haven't been doubting you all year. I've just felt all year that this was coming. And I get why Arsenal fans have played it down, a bit of PTSD, a little bit of I don't want to get bantered, I don't want to be clipped up. But we're fans talking about football here. This isn't, you're not running for president and you're worried about having a mishap. You're literally giving a football opinion. I think you've got to stand strong now and really start to back your club. Can we get off the Hogwarts Express? Potter out is what Laddie says here. David says, men versus boys out there. We weren't even at our best. And I think that's a scary thing for the Premier League when it comes to Arsenal. I still think there's a 2-0 Aston Villa for the free kick.
Unai Emery, I swear to God. This is why I say good evening. This is why I praise him to the high heavens. You're going to have to come and join us back after this for the United game, because I can see Tel starting to go redder and redder.
I'm frustrated. I truly believe we can challenge for the league 100%.
Say
what
it, baby.
AMT has got to say. And you've got to believe that, Arsenal fans. You have to believe you can do it, because you're the best team in the league right now. And we're a handful of games away from being halfway through the season. I don't think it's right to be denying that. We were strolling to the point where wingers didn't even need to do anything. Saliba and Gabriel, we made them made everything look easy, just beautiful, is what Ibby says here. And Obama who, Chelsea who, back to the top, baby, and back to you, Man City. Love from Melbourne to all you Gooners. Come on, you Gooners, is what Stephen has to say here.
Love that support. It's super early, super late over there.
It is. As a Gooner, I still love Aubameyang, but didn't get his revenge goal. All the smoke and nothing. Still done something Kane has never done, and that is win in England. A little bit of niceness there. I do
like Aubameyang. He did good things for Arsenal, but we can't be having these BT Sport adverts. We're not a banter club anymore. Touch wood.
This is true. We are the no Bameyang. We are the no Bameyang is what he says there. Chelsea got booed off the pitch at the end, and they deserved it. It was it's a performance where fans should boo. It's a performance. And the one thing I would say is this about fans: as much as you want the fans to elevate the team, you want the fans to be the 12th man, there has to be a reciprocation here. Fans need to respond to what you're doing. It's very hard for fans to get you up as players if you're not putting in an effort, if you're not trying, if you're not fighting. It has to be done. Obama did nothing, so can't be personal. Chris Walker, sorry, we had that one there. Amanda, Monster, Prime, you were the people. Where are you people at? The CFC brother who run to the Emirates after we won the Champions League. Where are you at?
Great questions. No answers, unfortunately.
They have been shared the link. Chelsea's tactics, kick it long and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know. Terry, I put money on us winning the league. Chris Walker is believing in Arsenal now.
There we go.
He's believing in Arsenal now. As a Man City fan, I truly believe if they do the business in January and beat us home and get the points at the Etihad, then I will believe. Okay. That's from a City fan giving that point.
Fair enough.
I love Gabriel. Centre backs around the league have bozo moments. Virgil van Dijk has more bozo moments than Gabriel. Gabriel is clutch and up for the battle every week.
I think that's fair. I mean, we said it on the Top 6 show, or I said it anyway, is that even though Gabriel frustrates me with these bozo moments because I'm so invested in Arsenal, without him in the squad, we look like a different team. So he's very important to Arsenal. And I think any Arsenal fan can see that.
Yeah, he's sensational. We sacked Tuchel for this. Potter and Bowley out is what Matty has got to say. Chelsea, I did say in my preview, I think this is going to be the game where you see Chelsea fans come out their shells either in support or in disagreement with what is going on in the club. Both are very quiet, and I think we've got our answers now. It's nothing personal is what Zizi says here. Chill Gooners, we haven't beaten a big team yet. That's been put to bed now, hasn't it? It's been put to bed. Ain't gonna watch United tell. Yes, I've got the game on. Don't you worry. I've got the game. This is part of my job. I have to cover all these games when they're on back to back. I'm watching games, listening to you, reviewing. It's what I do. It's what I do. 3 different managers, same players. Well, this is the point, though. This is why I would say I wouldn't be looking at Potter per se.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at the club, and it's going to take a couple of years. It's going to take a couple of years of spending the way that you have. I knew we would lose as soon as we saw the lineup. Our midfield was trash, and all we could hope for was the lobs and prayers. We need Rice and Bellingham ASAP.
Oh, Prime's turned up. So some of you have goaded a few Chelsea fans out of their shells.
A few have come out. Maybe now people will start talking about how poor Chelsea have been playing. Only 5 shots at home. Fair play to Arsenal. They are a brilliant team, is what Paul says here. I think it's a very good point made by Paul there. 1-0 to the Arsenal. How about that, Terence? Terence, sorry. I'm going to say it. We are going to win the league. Colleen, you're smart for supporting our team.
Listen, I've been there in the 90s and in the early noughties when it was great. And I've been there the last 15 years when it's been absolutely crap. It swings and roundabouts, my friend. So let's enjoy this ride for however long it lasts.
Colleen, you look absolutely stunning and want a relationship with someone like you. If Arsenal beat Man City at home and away, then wow, is what Chike's got to say there. Thank you, Bunny Indo, for becoming a new member. I really appreciate that. Love the football, Terry. Superb content. Thank you, Michael. I'm not enjoying football right now, though, because my team are losing.
15 minutes in, 2-0 to the Villa.
It's very hard for me to focus on you all. Tactically, to me, Arsenal are better than City. It's a massive...
That's a big statement to make.
The games are more entertaining, and that's generally because there's a little bit more ebb and flow and a bit more, not a basketball feel, but there's a little bit more openness. Arsenal are not... They're not as formidable as City. I think when you see yesterday when City went down to 10 men, it made the game a bit more competitive. So Arsenal's games are definitely more entertaining, I'd say. Love seeing these pretty women support Arsenal is what's been said there.
We all know Tell Sports Arsenal. So that's a great compliment for yourself.
Stop telling people this. Took Mikel 4 years. Give Graham Potter his time.
Fair enough.
3 years, but I get your point. Well, 2 and a bit years. I love how Arsenal fans are hating on City for no reason when everything is good about their team came from City, be it the manager, the playing style, tactics, and mentality. Players want more of our bench players on the Arsenal staff.
That sounds like someone's a little bit scared.
A little worried. A little worried.
Someone's a little bit worried.
Is he a little bit worried?
Ooh.
A little bit worried. A little worried out here. Adrian here says Brighton, Brentford create more chances than Chelsea. Arsenal, Liverpool don't have an elite creator system. Needs better personnel. DM needed. In
case Kovacic
is injured. And I think the reason why a few people are saying in the comments he weren't starting because he's nursing this knee injury. But I think Arsenal at home, he's just got to start the game.
I agree.
There's no doubt. We are going to keep your super chats coming. We're going to go to the first call of the day, though. Jay, what you saying, bruv? Jay, I don't think Jay's meant to be in there. Jay, you all right? I'm taking Jay out. EGAL is here. What you saying, EGAL?
Oh, lovely to see.
What's going on, people? It's a beautiful day, boys and girls. Let's talk about it. Arsenal win another game versus a team that has a terrible midfield, a terrible attack, a terrible defense bar 1 player, and a goalkeeper. They consider themselves a big club, Chelsea Football Club. You are beneath us at this point. Believe it. You're beneath us at this point. This is not a thing where I'm just tooting my own horn. Before the game,
do it, EGAL. Do it.
Before the game, you guys said that, what do you call it? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's Chelsea. And then you guys kept saying, oh, Arsenal's gonna fall off. Arsenal's gonna fall off. Now that you've seen it, do not believe it. We got Thomas Partey playing man of the match type performances. William Saliba putting man of the match type performances. All of our players putting in these kind of shifts versus a top team. You know what, Terry? I'm absolutely loving my team right now. I genuinely believe Arsenal is on their way to being fully back. First, we got to get back into our Champions League. Then we could talk more about the rest of the stuff. But right now, Mikel Arteta, in a span of 3 years, has played Chelsea and beaten them every single time at Stamford Bridge. You can no longer say Arsenal can't beat these teams away from home when we go to certain places. It might be oh, we might have an issue, but I've never been more confident. And you know what? They proved it right. Even though it was a 1-0 win, we dominated that first half. Second half, we controlled it, even though we didn't. Even though you guys got some chances, but hey. And also, Aubameyang, it's nothing personal, but we back, baby, and you taking that L over there at Chelsea. Mason Mount and all your good players that you have at Chelsea, Kovacic, I didn't see them. They're hidden. They're invisible.
Where are they, Gal?
I don't know where they are.
They?
The only person I've seen was Kai Havertz continuously making mistakes. And you know what? We know where Chelsea are. You guys are lucky that you kept the score down to 1-0 because Odegaard should have scored. Odegaard should have scored. That would have been 2-0. Jesus, it might be harsh, but he also should have scored. That would have been 3-0. I did not see one chance that Chelsea made where they could have actually said that was a goal. So I'm going to leave this game saying we take the 1-0, we go home. London is red and will forever be red until you surpass us in major trophies. I don't care if you have 2 Champions Leagues. We could definitely win more trophies in the foreseeable future. I don't see this team currently, the way that they're constructed, overtaking us. And don't forget, you spent 280 million to watch that.
That is a fair point.
It is a fair point. EGAL, are you in the title race?
Oh.
Am I in a title race? Terry,
are you in the title race?
At this moment in time, we're at the top of the league. Until someone takes us off, we're currently in a title race.
So you're in the title race. You confirm
Arsenal
are in this title race.
Until somebody takes us out of the league position which we're in, that's what's considered a title race. Am I wrong? We'll see how far it goes. But at this moment in time, we're at the top of the league. That's all.
So City are not in the title race then because they're not top.
Bro, you can consider anybody.
Yes or no? I'm asking. No. Listen. I want a straight yes or no. Are Arsenal in the title race?
Arsenal at the top of the league. So
I want a yes or no. Are Arsenal in the title race?
Terry, if it makes you sleep better at night, yes.
Yes.
It doesn't help me. I want your opinion, EGAL. Yes,
Terry, don't turn this into. I'm
not turning it into anything. I'm asking you a question, EGAL. Do you think?
I just said to you, I genuinely believe Arsenal are back in contention for major trophies. But at this moment in time, I don't think we have the experience to win it, but we are definitely in it.
So yes, you agree with me. You're in a title race.
We're in it, but I don't think we're going to
say you're in a title race. Calm down, EGAL. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on, my friend, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just sometimes, are you in a title race? I don't understand. I don't understand what he doesn't get himself out of anything. It's kind of weird. One back here says, I'm positive because I've been saying since Tuchel that some of these players are not at the level and are just letting us down. Tuchel covered the holes. It's a fair point there. There's no way we're on track for 99 points, is what's been said in that comment there. Unai and Aubameyang are still doing bits for Arsenal. Cheers, Cullum. Chelsea fans crying for Potter out need to be disowned. You now can see the terrible squad Tuchel was building with your open your eyes. The midfield has been falling this team for a long time. World Cup is a blessing in the skies.
I think yes and no with the World Cup comment. I guess you can't, if you're Chelsea, you kind of a Chelsea fan, you want to break from watching this dire football. But at the same time, any footballer will tell you when you've come off of a bad result, you just want to get back out there and make it right again as quickly as possible. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both for Chelsea. You want to go into the World Cup with at least a win.
Definitely. No top four for Chelsea this season, which I admit. Well, if you keep playing and performing as you've done in your last 3 or 4 games, it will be impossible because Spurs, they're not playing the greatest football, but they're getting results and they're good enough to win. And I think they'll make it. Of course, Chelsea and Arsenal and City are shoo-in. So there's one place left, and Newcastle right now are playing the way they're playing. And I wouldn't discount this comeback from Liverpool that I still think is potentially on the cards. First-time viewer, up the Arsenal, but I'm going to need my future baby mama's Insta on the left.
What's your Instagram for the young gentleman?
And men can have children now, so I've heard. So, at Terry Fleurs. There we go. I'm no longer scared of City, Terry. Is that a new title that's on the way? Maybe. United need Maguire up front to get the game back. Yeah, maybe. It's been drab so far. I've been watching it here. It's not very good. But when you go 2-0 down in 10 minutes,
what can you do?
It's a madness. Terry lost. Sorry, last time I said it would take 2 seasons, but the boys have proved me wrong. Now I will change it. We will win the league this season. We will, is what Manjo has got to say here. He believes Arsenal are winning the league. We're going to speak to a Chelsea fan next on the show. We've got Matt here with us. What are you saying, Matt?
Well, what am I saying? I'm saying the exact same thing I said last week, that Mason Mount is not Chelsea level. Like, it's simple. It's so simple. Mason Mount is a bang average footballer. I haven't seen him since Milan. Like, it just baffles me how people support this guy. And it's not just Mason Mount. It's the guy behind him. James Charles, aka Kai Havertz, is even worse. This guy makes too many mistakes. We should have been 1-0 up, but he decides to make a cross over the bar. It's just a basic cross. Arsenal today demolished us. They were playing Barcelona tiki-taka football, and Jesus, if they got that goal, that would have been a beautiful goal by Arsenal. And I'm glad he didn't score that goal, because that was such a cool play by Arsenal. They ripped us apart. We know our problems. We have to fix our midfield. We have to fix our attack. But it's not going to happen right now. And for me, Graham Potter, I'll be honest, I never really liked Graham Potter. When he came in, Tuchel's a better manager than Graham Potter, but Graham Potter's still a good guy. I'm willing to give managers times. I'm not willing to give these players times, because these players are generally rubbish. When you're looking at Loftus-Cheek and we're relying on him in 2022, that's how you know we're rubbish. The guy wouldn't even start for Brighton. These players are West Ham level. These players are generally rubbish. We need to overhaul these coming in the next summer, and I hope Potter can do that. But Potter's mentality right now, I'm not really liking it. This lineup today was shocking. We had Kovacic on the bench, Zakaria on the bench, but we start these bums like Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount. Zakaria proved himself last game. He was fantastic. Why isn't he consistently starting? I said, if I went to sleep, if I've been in a coma for 3 months and I wake up and I watch this game, I will still think Thomas Tuchel's at this club, because it's the same thing. We sacked him for something different. Why is this still the same football? It's still the same football. It's still the same tactics. It's still the same management. Potter needs to get his head straight. He needs to have a plan. I don't know what his plan is. I don't know what his philosophy is, because he's not showing it on this pitch. He'll go to this press conference now and try to be all positive. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Tuchel was honest. Tuchel said these players are rubbish. And what was the consequence of that? He got sacked. There's something going on in the sport. And
Potter has the personality or the guile to be a Chelsea manager.
No, he doesn't. Chelsea need like a real bad boy. We need someone who's honest.
I agree.
Tuchel was that guy. You know, you saw on the pitch today, we've got people yawning, like Mason Mount's just fixing his hair, thinking about his next TikTok dance he's going to do after the game. No one cares about this game. They were walking this, so no one wants to win. And when you got someone like a manager who's, again, not like, it's just his personality. You can't change what he has. You know, he's a bit quiet guy. And you've got your captain as well, Azpilicueta, who's silent as well. There's no one there to lift up the spirits. And Chelsea's a team where you need this, like, you know, just like, you know, something like oomph, you know, as we call it down here. It's like an oomph, you know. And Potter and Azpilicueta and these guys, these leaders, as we call leaders, proclaimed leaders, are not their guys. So we need to really change on the
Chelsea right now remind me. Yes, you've had new owners, but Chelsea right now remind me of Arsenal when Arteta came in. There are such parallels between the two. A mixture of squads from Unai Emery, Wenger's side of things, and of course, he came in and didn't have any of his own players. You've got some big personalities there that might even be considered legends or, you know, sort of cult heroes in recent times of Chelsea. But they've got this ideology. Some of these players were brought in by Lampard. Some of these players were brought in by Sarri. Some of these players were brought in by Tuchel to play that individual style of football. Now they're sitting here going, well, maybe I wouldn't have joined if I knew I was going to be playing in this way or playing for this manager, or, you know, if we would have gone in a completely new direction. And this is something that's going to take time. And I think sacking the manager or focusing on Graham Potter, in my opinion, I think that's going to be more detrimental to Chelsea in the short term than anything else. Matt, though, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. You can see that. Listen, I understand his point about Graham Potter. Like, try something different. At the same time, I think it's a very difficult thing to do. January cannot come soon enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think they need I think they need to get rid of 2 or 3 and sign 2 or 3 to really help Potter, you know, get underneath the skin of this team. He really does.
If you're a Chelsea fan, listen, you've got an owner so far who will back your manager. So it's not like, you know, you might get one player in or it's just done and dusted for now. You've got an owner who will back your club. So there's something there to be positive about. And you're right, it's too soon to be, you know, having the jury out for Graham Potter, but you can still say, when you're in that position in a London derby, sometimes you just need a bit of frustration. Sometimes you just need your manager to at least show you something to the fans. And I guess that's where the difference is between managing a big club and what the fans want versus, overachieving with
and I think you've got to look, Arteta could be the exception that proves the rule about giving people time. But you've even seen it like Southampton. You've seen at Leicester this year. Southampton, I think Hassan Hüttl's gone. They've got to sack Graham Potter. We've all said it. I think he's done now. And now they're turning it around because actually, unless you've lost control of the dressing room, or if the reason you're losing control of the dressing room is because players are downing tools and you've done nothing wrong, then the club should be backing the manager. You have to set that precedent, and it's very key. Graham Villas-Boas is what's been said here. Do you remember Villas-Boas?
Oh, God.
Nice to see Aubameyang helping our defense, keeping another clean sheet. Once a gunner, always a gunner. Is what's been said there. Chelsea play Sam Allardyce 19th century football whilst we play
Joga bonito.
What does that mean?
It's like beautiful football.
Beautiful. Is that what it means? Okay. No doubt Arsenal are going to be City's closest challengers. Come on, you Gooners. Well, at least you can say it, because EGAL annoys me. I have to say, I'm going to call EGAL out here. While we remain top, we're still in the title race. So what if you're top until game 36 and then you fall to second by 1 point, you're out of the title race? Come on. I know what EGAL's doing. EGAL's trying to be smart. He's trying to make it so that at no point can anything be seen as failure. And it isn't failure to be in a title race and not win it. It's only failure if you're seen as the clear favourites and you don't win it. And Arsenal aren't the favourites. So you're in a title race. Just admit it and have fun and enjoy it instead of being a fucking politician. Absolutely stoked for the W at the Bridge. Get in, solid at the back, build up and one-touch play was slick for most of the game. Big match temperament. And that's true. It was great big match temperament. And even when it kicked off at the end, Xhaka was involved, but he didn't do anything stupid. Didn't throw a head in. No one punched anyone. What was the point? You were winning. There's no point damaging your next game. Can we take a second to acknowledge this is the best ever start for Arsenal? Last season, Mikel and the boys proved a lot of people wrong when people were touting Arsenal to struggle to even make the top 6.
Fair point.
And it is a fair point. Not only that, it's the best win percentage of any Arsenal manager in history after 150 games.
That's insane.
Now I understand that's not a trophy. And some will say, but others like Wenger won trophies within their first 150 games. So, of course, he isn't better than Arsene Wenger. But they're getting better. The trajectory's moving in the right direction. Best ever start. That's why I'm saying the Gooners that keep saying we're not in a title race. You cannot now have the expectation, a club of your size, to have your greatest ever start to a season, to be top of the league after 13 games, and to not consider yourselves as part of the title race, or that you should be in one. Even if you're someone that believes the title race doesn't start until the last, because some people don't think you're in a title race until the last 5-10 games. Well, then do you expect to be in it? Whatever way you want to spin it, well done to you for having some chest, my friend. Let's see what Jamie O'Hara has to say to this one. Of course, we'll be reacting to that tomorrow. Using the Champions League tactics in the Premier League never works. L for Graham Potter.
We touched upon this on the top 6 as well. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We did talk about how Potter's been almost a different Potter in the Champions League versus the Premier League. Now, whether it's literally the tactics in the Champions League or it's because there's no expectation on him in the Champions League and there's still a little bit more on him in the Prem because they are Chelsea and Potter has played in the Premier League, we'll have to see. But I agree.
It could definitely be that. Big up the terrace. Colleen is dripping in success right now, is what Captain's Corner has got to say here. Thank you to Collins for becoming a brand new member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us that you've done that. Thank you. Bear with me a second.
He thinks United are going to be Unai Emery, and it's not going to happen.
Oh, I had a chance to say. That was a good chance. Well done, Garnacho. Anyway, let's go back here. The resilience of my team has grown times 10. Arteta doing wonders with this young team. Credit to the Gunners. Hope to see this through to the end of the season.
So we can ask for. Let's hope we can.
And that resilience is there. That resilience, that perseverance. Oh, Ronaldo missed a sitter.
Lovely save by Martinez.
Was it offside though? No, it wasn't. Oh, we should have scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Annoying. Anyway, sorry. Back to this. This Chelsea fan has a terrible opinion. Tuchel is the reason we are in this mess. Don't address the midfield. Potter needs time. Zakaria and Kova are injured, as what's been said there.
Fans are fickle. Tuchel did wonderful things for Chelsea in a short period of time, and then your downfall came really quick.
EGAL just likes making us look stupid. I don't think he's making you look stupid. It's just with. I know what EGAL is part of a group of Arsenal fans that will say and do whatever he can to ensure that the Arsenal are always like an underdog and everything looks like success, as opposed to that being a failure. And the point is with sport is that failures are important because it makes you enjoy the successes so much more. You can't, if you just avoid failure all the time, then what really is success? You have to know the difference between the two. Deluded, no major trophies in 20 years. London is blue.
Cry more.
Aubameyang was an Arsenal agent today. He was, and after what he did as well, it was a terrible performance from him. Chelsea have two clear problems: Mount and Havertz. They're both been so poor, and today they're just non-existent. It's so hard to say anything more about that. Marry me, Colleen. You are the Arsenal love from Oz.
Not for $2.99. maybe $4.99. Maybe $4.99, but $2.99 is taking the mick a little bit. Come on, just give me a bit more. Come on.
This here says the Arteta reaction. He's surely going for the title.
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is. He's not that naive.
You don't go for top 4 though. You aim for the title, and if you fail, you come in the top 4. That's kind of what every big team should be aiming for. Saying even when you're not good enough to win the league, you're still aiming to win every game. Therefore, you're aiming to win the league. You know, like Burnley start the season trying to win it. Burnley don't go into their games going, right, today we're playing to lose or not to win. I think when you play to draw, you lose because you're not positive enough. So yeah, absolutely, he's going for that win, 110%. Arsenal is a great example of being patient with a manager.
Yeah, he's agreeing with you, Tal.
It's true. Arsenal make it moving weird, and I love it. Come on, you gooners. I hear you there. Brandon's on the show now. Big Arsenal fan. What you saying, bro?
Terry, Colleen. Then I say it, but I believe.
Brandon believes. I'm shocked.
I believe. Don't get me wrong. We still need investment in January if we are to maintain this. But right now, we are in a title race.
Wow.
And that's how I see it. I did say that if we come through the October fixture list reasonably unscathed, I would sit here and I would hold my hands up and say, look, I was wrong about the manager. And I admit that now because he, along with this team, is giving me more and more reason every single week to back them because they're showing us that it is possible. I mean, we've lost one game this season. We've drew one game in the Premier League. We sat top of the group in the Europa League, although it weren't pretty. We sit top of the Premier League. And I expect us to sit top of the Premier League come the World Cup as well. And today, again, I wouldn't say it was an overly pretty performance, but we made it look extremely easy against Chelsea. We pretty much played that game in second gear.
Yeah.
And as poor as Chelsea were, I thought we was very good in transition. I thought we looked really, really controlled in midfield. Saliba was excellent. Gabriel was excellent. Thomas Partey was excellent. I see what people are saying about Jesus and him, he could have scored that chance. For me, I think that's a difficult chance for Jesus to put away. I mean, I heard the commentators say, if that's Erling Haaland, that's in the back of the net. Well, of course it is. He's about 8 inches taller. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the goal was, it was the weirdest goal I've ever seen. It was one of the worst goals I've ever seen. But
yeah,
when you wait up over the 90 minutes, we deserve to win the game. And so far this season, barring one game against Southampton, even though we lost to Manchester United, I still feel like we deserve to win that game. And every single game so far in the Premier League, apart from Southampton, I feel like we deserve to win the game. So, yeah, it's exciting, but we need investment in January if we're to maintain this. And if we can do that, I think we could challenge City. I genuinely do.
I hear you on that, mate. Brand, great call, my friend, and we'll chat again soon. Top man there. See, just an honest, straightforward opinion.
If Brandon can believe, then everyone can
believe. And it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Brandon was someone that wanted Arteta sacked, and he just says, yeah, this is the craziest thing. He then just says, yeah, I think I might have got that wrong for all those years. And do you know what Arsenal fans do? They say, yeah, cool. The only Arsenal fans who won't accept someone that got it wrong are people that whose opinions you shouldn't even care about. So if you're a gooner that didn't believe, and now you do, so what? That's life. That's the way it works. If there's an Arsenal fan out there that goes, oh, you can't come in our group chat because you didn't believe from day one. Why do you want to be around people like that? Why do you care about their opinion of you? No one Arsenal fan, no one football fan is right about everything.
Listen, I wanted Arteta gone.
So some of the big Arteta in guys, I've seen a few of them on social, like, oh, you guys are joining the bandwagon. I remember these were the guys that were crying the summer before this one just gone, about the Odegaard signings and this ain't good enough. And I remember getting into an argument with one online. He told me that it was an awful summer where you signed Tomiyasu, Ben White. And I said, I think it's good. I said, there's some very good signings. No, it's been an absolute disaster. They're now moaning that people are changing their minds about Arteta. What like you change your opinion on how good the signings were? You're allowed to as football fans. We've almost got to get rid of this kind of notion of you get an opinion wrong, you're now ostracized as a fan. It's just nonsense. It really is. Zizi here says it's nothing personal. Oba. Goodwill here says, okay, EGAL, it's been 17 years. Relax. Congrats on the win. But it's not beneath you, lad. But we're not beneath you, lad. Maybe in the moment, but calm down. We'll soon. We'll see how. See when Graham settles.
Got to roll with the punches, my friends. When Graham settles, that'll be a different conversation. But right now, unfortunately,
he ain't settled.
Yeah,
he ain't settled right now. Hello, Colleen. You are looking beautiful today. A great win today. Wasn't it? Come on, you Gooners.
Come on, you Gunners.
Where is Sterling and Aubameyang?
I'm not going to be that critical on Sterling, you know.
I thought he was all right.
I thought he was okay. And I thought anything that was decent was coming from Sterling. I know Chelsea fans are not in the boat of Sterling. Maybe it's just me. But I thought if anything was going to happen, I thought it was going to come through Sterling. That doesn't mean he was overly great. I don't think anyone was good for Chelsea. But if anyone was not as bad, I think it was Sterling. I'm sorry.
I thought he was all right. If they had more players taking people on and driving forward like he did, taking risks, gambling, they might have got a goal. The resilience of my team is, sorry, we already put that one up. I didn't unstar it. Sorry. We have 6 injuries to our first 11, so I'm not expecting top form. I'm not seeing the...
I can't even ingenuity.
Ingenuity from... I don't know what that word means. Maybe I'm a bit dumb, but not seeing it from Potter. He is not showing much creativity. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's been a bit. They started well though. That's what's weird about it. In the first handful of games, they looked a lot better, and then it kind of disappeared. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. Colleen, put your palm to the screen.
See what size? My ring size. Unfortunately, not for £2. I've told you guys, gotta get it. Not for £2. Sorry.
I need more than that. Arsenal are top of the league, is what Jay says here.
Amen, baby.
The only thing that comforts me is that there are only one club in London with the European Cup.
Have you not been watching the Terrace Dean? Because I've been saying, forget about your Champions League, forget about Europa Leagues. It's all about the Cup Winners' Cup, babe. Don't know where he's been personally. That's the only European trophy I am looking at for now. So,
sorry. Cullen says, Colleen, with more marriage proposals than Chelsea had shots on goal. Big W. Arsenal fans have been hurt so much. Believing is dangerous. I am a believer.
Believe, baby, believe.
Kisha here says, Arsenal are in the title race. Football is about the excitement of the belief. We're robbing ourselves by not enjoying it. This is how everything has gone this season. Even with City's class, it's on. Amen. Is what Chris says there. Like, Chris, you're absolutely spot on. If you don't enjoy it, and the point is, there's no point enjoying it privately at home by yourself in the bedroom going, oh, this is fun. You enjoy it with your mates. And now social media has created online friends and people to enjoy football with. So enjoy it. Enjoy yourselves. I'm looking at the game at the same time. Enjoy yourselves. That's awful cross. Enjoy yourselves. You're absolutely spot on there, my friend. Thank you for this super chat from Chris. There was nothing said, but thank you very, very much indeed. Prime's here with us now. What are you saying, Prime?
Put the fucking ball in, bro. Sorry.
Prime, how you doing, bro?
Me personally, I'm good. In terms of this game, listen, I thought it'd be a lot worse. If not for like a bit better finishing than Arsenal, the game should have ended 3-0. Great performance from Arsenal before I go on Chelsea. You guys played very well. You deserve to win. Any Chelsea fan, because I've been backstage for a little bit and watching any Chelsea fan trying to like find a way to give banter back and stuff, like just stop being childish, like grow up. This is our team. We've been awful all season. Even games we won by a good scoreline, we've still looked very, very bad. The goal we conceded from a set piece, we've been doing this all season. Terry, the last time I was on was what, a week or two ago, when we conceded a goal from a set piece. Remember, we lost against Leeds 3-0, conceded from a set piece. Lost against Spurs, conceding, or drew against Spurs, conceding from a set piece. These guys just don't.
Yes! Come on! Yes! We've got a goal back. Come on!
So that's what you get when
Yes!
you know, but Prime, you sound very out of it. You just sound like, do you know what? I'm over it.
Yeah, Colleen, but no, here's the thing though. Like, I've been saying all of this all season. I'm fed up with these players. You do the same thing over and over again. Our record against the top like 4 teams, not including Spurs, they're not a big. The record against top 4 teams has been poor over the last 3-4 years. At home, at the bridge, that's supposed to be this fortress. Like Arsenal's record, for example, I think you've beaten us the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons as well. Like it's annoying and frustrating. And what's annoying, I don't know what's more annoying, having to watch players like Havertz and Mount continuously break up our attacks, because Sterling is the only one who did anything today. I'm glad you guys see it, because we've got brain dead Chelsea fans that think that Sterling is the problem in this team and he's poor when he's been playing wing back. He plays in the forward line in midweek. He scores. Today he plays in the forward line and he's the only one doing something. It's annoying. I've been doing some previews this week. I did one on EGAL's channel, and I've got this. I don't know what the guy's name is, but this like stupid Chelsea fan saying that we're gonna draw 3-3, and I have Chelsea fans attacking me and saying that I'm a fake fan. I'm not a real fan. I'm a United fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. Listen, you guys can. I'm not gonna swear on the channel, but you guys can all like any pain, because this is gonna get worse. By the way, any pain that you guys may feel going on, you guys deserve the pain that you're going through. Me, I'm just like fed up. Like it is.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better, and it's just the transition of power. Yeah, the players that come in. You just kind of have to accept that this is where you are right now. But
yeah, and
a little bit more fight from Chelsea players at home in a London derby. The crowd was.
These guys don't care. These guys, you say London derby means nothing. These guys don't care. Like you can say London derby. We lost to Leeds and Brighton. Why should they care about this? They don't care. Like, and people and Potter, right? Potter's vastly been overrated by English fans, Premier League fans, English media, all of this. But and I didn't want him, but I don't blame him. What can he? Oh, I just saw the goal. Wow. I don't blame him for any of this, because what can he do? Same thing. Everyone wanted to blame Tuchel. A new manager comes in that everyone rates, still the same football. Actually, probably even worse. At least with Tuchel, I could have trusted that he'll build some sort of tactical plan, and then it's just up to these guys to turn up on the day. Today it was nothing. It's frustrating watching this all the time.
I totally get you, bro. I do. Listen, we'll catch up soon, Prime. Thanks for coming on, being so honest with us. Always nice to speak to you, brother. We'll chat again soon. Thank you.
Take care.
And I agree with what he's saying. Like, I mean, the Chelsea. I don't think Graham Potter's a problem, personally. I think Chelsea's biggest issue, even when they were winning things under Roman, is they sacked managers too easily. And they allow player power to become too ingrained in their football club. And player power, if these players are saying, oh, I don't want to do it, and maybe they don't want to do it because Graham Potter wants them to work a lot harder than the previous managers did. They've got to run through more walls. And maybe these players are saying, I don't want to do it. You know, that's what it looks like to me. They're not working hard. The Chelsea fan that said Graham Potter gets better, then you'll see. But by that time, Arteta will be established.
Touche.
You've got to have bad times with managers to have good times. You have to put up with them to get their vision. Know what I mean? I agree with you. I agree with you. Jay said Arsenal all the way at the top of the league. You were right, Terry. Arsenal was going to beat Chelsea. I got the score wrong, but yeah, the way today's game went, it's exactly what I said. Midfield, Arsenal would win. They'd be the aggressors. They'd dominate the game. They just didn't put all the balls in the back of the net. Per here says, if we can keep this up until the end of the season, I'll join in on the unzipping my pants over Arteta. Oh yeah, Arteta's can show you whatever he wants.
We can't roll that back out, honestly. Anyway, moving swiftly
roll it
on.
back. William Saliba appreciation comment. What a lad!
What a lad!
Sensational. Arsenal are in the title race. Football is about excitement. Sorry, I already put that one up there. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, 100% they are. And this super chat from earlier says London is red. It certainly is today. Jay, are you coming on backstage or are you just listening?
I think Jay should come on and say
I don't know, because every time I put him on, he muted himself and he weren't ready to speak. If he unmutes, then I know that he's ready to come on.
Because Jay's been talking a lot of crud. I would like to hear from him.
He's probably waiting down. Jay, this is Javon, people. What are you saying, bro?
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm in the car on the way to the studio.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Listen, this Chelsea team is fucking shit. And you know what? I've been saying this over and over and over again in the studio. You know this. And there's a lot of these Chelsea fans, the Cobham training ground, best place. Shut the fuck up. They're all rubbish. All the players from the training ground. Listen, I'm just so annoyed right now. I was there. The game was garbage. The players are rubbish. Let's start Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech. Like, what was this thing with Ziyech posting up him scoring against Chelsea right before the game? Like, what the fuck is that about? Get him out. Pulisic, garbage. Listen, I can go on. The team just isn't good enough. And any Chelsea fans that think that these players, and stop protecting Mount. Listen, I'm going from point to point to point. Mount, bad. Ziyech, bad. Havertz, bad. There's more bad than good in that team right now, and there needs to be a shake. I can't put this on Potter. He's just come in. He's probably realizing, oh shit, what am I in now? This team is garbage. Better off staying at Brighton. It's like the team has just been getting progressively bad. Like Alonso, let's look at Alonso's gone, but people needed to go. Aspilicueta, thanks for the service, but he's getting on there. He's getting there just needs midfield is like I was saying earlier in the group chat. Reece James, Chilwell, and Conte are the three players in this squad that are worth anything to talk about. And when they're not there, you can see that. You can maybe put Kovacic, because right now everyone else is so bad that he looks so good that he's literally our only option. Like the players are so when you look at the lineup, just look at that lineup that you saw before the game started. Like, does that strike fear into anybody? Just look how bad that lineup is. Look at that lineup. This is meant to be a top team. Look at that lineup.
100% hear you, my bro, and we'll see you in the studio soon for a debrief and a chicken burger. I'll catch up with you soon, Jay. See you later, Jeff. Listen, I get his frustration, and Javern sits here off camera thinking this all the time. This isn't him just reacting to today's loss. That is Javern for about 2 years. Yeah. He was the guy that when they won the Champions League was like, I'm happy we won the Champions League, but we need massive improvements. And listen, I got it wrong in the summer in the sense of I thought they bought a lot of quality. But what Chelsea didn't do, and I overlooked this, is that midfield has fallen off fast and hard. And I don't think certain players, like for instance, I think Jorginho is talented in the right system, in the right place. But I don't think he's suited to this style of football in the Premier League when he doesn't want to be here. I think if you sat down with him right now and said, where do you want to be in the world? I think he wants to be back in Italy. I think he wants to be there or another country, another league. And that's not an issue. A personal issue. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But listen, I will say this today that Arsenal fantastic again today, and some will say not at their scintillating best, and I think that is exceedingly important because you can't maintain that. Opening 5-6 games of the season, 6-7 games, whatever it was, that level of performance and intensity is impossible over 38 games. You burn out. Even if you go back to the Centurion seasons, Liverpool's league win in recent years with these high points, go back to Chelsea and Arsenal's in the mid noughties when they got low 90s, mid 90 points. There'll be many games where you're not cutting everyone open, winning by 3, 4, 5 goals, but you're still the most dominant team. And barring 2 45-minute performances, Arsenal have been equal to everybody or superior to every team they've played so far this year. I would say equal to Man United and poor in 2 halves against Southampton and Leeds. But in every other minute of every other game, they have been vastly superior over every single team they have played. That is title-winning level quality, without a shadow of a doubt. And I know it's taken Arsenal fans longer than it's taken me to see this, and I think that's based on, I don't want to say it, I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to mess it up.
I don't want to believe.
But I'm going to say this now with pure chest. Arsenal Football Club are back. They are back to challenging for titles. And once you're challenging for titles, you're one of the best teams in the world. That's a fact. The Premier League's the hardest league. And if you're challenging for it, you're one of the best teams in the world. If Arsenal were in the Champions League this year, they'd have a chance of winning it. That is how good they are right now. They're going back into the Champions League, even if they don't win the title this year. The only thing that can go wrong is if the owners do not allow you to invest more money into this squad and go to another level.
This is where you keep the pressures on the Cronkies.
That's where the pressure's got to go. But Arsenal are back. They're challenging for a title. And that is, not everyone that challenges for a title wins a title. If you're good enough to challenge for the Premier League, you can win every other competition that you're in because you're one of the best teams in the world. You're never a title challenger in the Premier League or the Liga without being one of the best teams in the world. The leagues are too strong and too good for that not to be the case. People are telling me to go check out.
I'm having a little
Gabriel's tweet.
What is it? Has he said?
What? Yeah, let's have a little look. Go on, you get it up on your phone.
Which Gabriel? Also, I'm assuming the defender.
Yeah, I always take that as Gabriel. I bet.
Nothing personal. London is red. We love it. We love it. We love it around here. We love it.
I should change the title of this video. Actually,
nothing personal.
Nothing
personal. Chelsea.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, to nothing. Nothing personal, but Arsenal are top. I like that. Listen, everyone that has tuned in today, a massive thank you. We are live. I know you're all going to be busy looking at other things, but please come back after the Man United game ends and after the Tottenham-Liverpool game. We really need your support on the terrace. Come back for all our match reactions. Have a bit of banter. Have a bit of a laugh. Give an opinion on a rival as well. We'll see you all very, very soon. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.